Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's been a hectic Tuesday. I hope you're able to jump on and say hi. It looks like Justine's here. So, hello, Justine. We are going to talk about flashcards today. And the reason I've even decided to bring up flashcards is because, well, one, I think they're super fun. But two, when I go to shows, I find that people don't really get what they are. So I am going to talk about them. So let's give this a minute or two for people to jump on if they're going to. And I've got a laminator on the floor heating up because, well, it's a last minute show as always. Anyway, so yay, Justine says hello and says she hears me. That's awesome. All right, so with flashcards, people, I think the name kind of like throws them off because they think of flashcards from like when they were in school. Especially, I'm kind of aging myself. Like when I was in school, we did flashcards. We made our cheat sheets. We made all those things, but we had flashcards. So I think I'm of the average age of, or even on the young side of the average age of stampers. And so flashcards aren't flashcards in the sense that you think that they are. They are pre-made card fronts that are printed with a high density toner so that you can foil those. But you know me, I'm always going to give you the bigger bang for the buck that I can give you. So first of all, you're getting 24 panels for $6.99, which is like the best price point on the market right now if you go out and and average out the cost. These are the baseball themed ones. We have all occasion. We've got Halloween. We've got teacher. We've got dog and cat ones. We've got beach themed. I mean, you name it. We've got coffee, tea, gamers. We've got them all. So if you don't like baseball, you're not like stuck with just baseball. Anyway, but because I do like to give you more bang for your buck always, I chose to put this on a 100-pound cardstock, and it's a very smooth cardstock, which is why you get really good foiling results. This is the type of foiling that you use with a laminator, so like transfer sheets and things like that. Okay, so not hot foil, not like that you use with the spellbinders thing. This is done with a laminator or a mink, and that's what we're kind of focusing on. But because it's on the smooth cardstock, you can Copic color them. So a lot of these will have images that you can color, like for instance this bat. Now this set maybe isn't like the best example of the ones that you can color. But like we have a patriotic set that has like an eagle and sunglasses, that kind of stuff for the 4th of July. And those you can color with Copics and it blends perfectly. But on top of that, you can ink blend seamlessly. And you can use our dye ink blending solution with it, and the cardstock holds up perfectly. But there's more. You can actually use, it has a little bit of tooth on it. So it's not like, when I say it's a smooth cardstock, it has a little bit of tooth in it. So it's not like a laminated feel, you still can use some colored pencils a little bit lightly. So let's show you what you can. First of all, I'm going to show you the baseball ones because I don't think we've given enough love to these. So you've got, oh my God, Becky, look at that bunt. And it's got a, if you know the song, you know the song. And then here's another sing-songy one by Jack Norworth. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. And you very easily, hi there, good to see you. Is it Chi or I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but hello. I'm glad you joined us. I would love to know how you heard about us. And if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, leave comments, all those good things so that the YouTube algorithm picks us up. But anyway, so you can color this with pencils or with alcohol markers. And then this one is just really super, as far as foiling goes, lots of toner on it. And you get 3 of each design. And you've got love, which we all need a little bit of love these days. So it's just a good way to send like a happy birthday or an I love you to your baseball fan. And then I love this one. When life throws you curveballs, grab a bat and swing. Pretty awesome. I think we've all felt like that lately. You're new, yay! I'm so glad you found us. And then we've got let the field be joyful and all that is in it. And that's comes from Psalms 96:12. It's one of my favorite verses. So I try to incorporate some of that in there, but we don't get overly, we don't throw a lot of religion at you ever. And then again, we've got love in a very cute way. And then we've got baseball vibes. And again, super cool foiled. All right. So we're going to show you how you can use these. Since I have the laminator going, now you can use a mink machine, or you can use your trusty old laminator. So when I use a laminator for foiling, I typically let it warm up for a good time. For a long time. Once that green light comes on, so you want it on the heat setting, because some of them have a cold and a hot. I always let it warm up longer. And then I fold a piece of copy paper in half. If you have a mink, you would use your carrier sheet, or if you have a fuse machine, but whatever you've got, it'll work. So I'm going to show you different foils that are on the market. I just threw one on the floor, so we're not going to show you that one, but that one was a rainbow from Pink and Maine, and that's really the one I wanted to use, so that's a bummer. But there's all these different ones out there that look like oil slick. So if you see one from iCraft or Deco Foil, those work with transfers. You've got, guys, I'm a mess. You've got some red here, and this is Radiant Red. This is Regina K, but if you notice, the name says ThermoWeb, so anything from the ThermoWeb site or Deco Foil works. This one is again from iCraft and ThermoWeb, and this was from a company named Maker Forte that is no longer, unfortunately. And so I'm just showing you all the different ones. What you want them to say is transfer sheet or toner reactive. That's why I'm going over this, like all these different ones. So, and you can use the Mink brand, you can use the Crafty Critta, you can use, I prefer the Pink and Maine because I think it's like the biggest bang for your buck, and that's what I carry in my store is the Pink and Maine. But all of these work, so I wanted you to see that. So this would be the paper or the foil that we carry in the store from Pink and Maine that just went flying across my room. So there's that. Anyhow, we're going to get started. So when I say we're going to get started, I take a piece of foil, and I normally have a brush. So I have one brush that's mainly that's like kept clean at all times for foil. And I always dust it off. My friend Nancy calls it the dusty dusty. So if you want like expert advice on how to foil, Justine, who's on my design team, she's a great foiler. And Nancy Stamps over at the Foiling Style Clubs is amazing. So let's do this one in red. And you guys, I'm from the Cincinnati area, so I'm always going to choose red for the Reds. Even though I'm not like, a huge baseball fan, that's what I'm going to choose. Which one did I use? I'm changing this. Changing up my mind. I want to do the love one, because I want to color that little bat so I can show you the way it all works. Alright, so we're back on here. And it's really important when you use a laminator or a foiling machine that you put the folded end in, because if you put it in with the loose side, it's just going to get tangled up in you, and then you're going to really hate the experience and maybe even hate me. So you just feed that through, just like that. Now the only difference is I have not dusted mine, so we'll see what kind of results I get. I like, when I use my mink, I like to put it on the 3rd or 4th setting, because I think you get the best results with that. But I wanted everybody, like I tell people at the shows all the time, that you can use a laminator. Like you can buy the $20 laminator on Amazon and it'll work. And this here probably was a little bit more than $20, but I bought it like 10, 15 years ago, so maybe it was like closer to that $30 mark. But this was the cheap one. You're welcome, Miss Justine. And so I kind of like wait for it to cool off a little bit. And I don't know that you necessarily have to, but I just think it's like a really good, for very like good measure. I've got it upside down. And all you do is peel that off and look at those results. And so you can, I know people are going to ask this question at some point. You can use your printer at home if you have like a toner printer, but it doesn't usually lay down enough toner, so you get really crappy results. And then that's why people don't love foiling. So I'm just kind of throwing all that stuff out there so that you kind of can troubleshoot. But you know, Justine is on my channel, and she's also got she's Stationery by Justine LLC. So I definitely say follow her and check her out because she's amazing. And then Nancy as well. So that way you can hear the results from somebody besides, you know, the company owner who, you know, everybody perceives as trying to sell something. You know what I mean? All right, so I want you to see that this piece of foil is garbage. So I am going to step off camera for a second. I'm going to grab that rainbow because I really want to do a rainbow. So the reason I like this one from Pink and Main, I like all of them from Pink and Main, is because you get like 14 feet of it in a roll. Or, I'm sorry, 25 feet, and it's like $14, which seems like it's a lot of money. But these are like 6 sheets for like a 6x6 or a 6x9 sheet. So I feel like Pink and Main foil is a really good deal, and so is Crafty Critter. I don't have any of that on me, or else I would show you what that looks like. Hey Betsy, good to see you, friend. So now we're going to use the rainbow, and I'm just, Betsy, so I'm showing everything foiling as far as toner or transfer foiling and flashcards. So I'm trying to show everybody that yes, indeed, you can use the cheap laminator. Like, you don't have to have the $100 machine, no matter which one you choose. Like, I know everybody's on a budget, including me. Hi, Jana. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. We are foiling and flashcarding. So flashcards, for everybody that's just jumping on, they are foilable with transfer sheet foiling. Card fronts, you get 24 for $6.99. And we've got all different themes, so this, you're not stuck with just baseball. It just happens to be what I'm using. So like I said, I tell everybody that I normally let this cool a little bit before I pull it back. And check that out. You got an awesome, 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 awesome rainbow there. I feel like we should do one more rainbow. I'm not sure why I'm in the rainbow mood. I think it's just, guys, I woke up this morning and I had the air conditioning on. So, you know, I'm of that age where, you know, our hormones are all over the place. You know, menopause sucks. Anyway, so I had the air conditioning on and I was freezing. So I looked to see how cold it was outside. It was 50 degrees. So I went from having the air conditioning on, I flipped on the heat. The peel and reveal is amazeballs. Yeah, I said that on a live, whatever. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. Everybody's fine. So I just want like one more of these, and then we're going to get into what the other ones do. And usually, so when you foil these, they are so easy, right? So that it almost makes you like not want to stop. Like, I could do all 24 panels just because it's fun to watch this go through. In fact, you know what? Let's do another one. I'm dying here. Like, I love this stuff. And so this is what I'm talking about, a 6x6 piece, and it looks like an oil slick. It's so cool. But I'm going to be real honest with you. I think that Pink and Main has an oil slick one. So there's that. Not that I'm trying to persuade you. I want you to find the foil that you like and whatnot. Now, I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit. Hey, Meadow. Meadow and her mama went shopping today. They went to Joann's and they left sad. We're all, whenever a company is closing down, it's very sad. So I let my foil cool down, and that means I leave it in the air and act crazy and stupid. And then there's the reveal every time. Like this, my husband calls these like the 2-minute card. Like, you're done. You know what I mean? All right, one more just because I can't help myself. So we're using this oil slick one. Now mind you, when I'm using my laminator, I turn it on and on hot, and I have it on, once it turns green, I'm pointing to the light and you can't see it, the green button. Then I let it go for like 5 more minutes. My best friend always calls me in the middle of a live. Like, I don't know why she doesn't understand that I'm live at 6 o'clock every Tuesday. And I'm sorry that if you guys heard that beeping or whatever, but my watch was vibrating. It was making me nuts. So, one last one with the laminator, because how many times can we watch it? Okay, so I wanted to mention that Justine linked to Nancy Stamp's channel, where she talks a lot about like beginner foiling techniques, and I would highly recommend her. So again, I wave that in the air, and look at those results. So we had a piece right there that didn't transfer very well, and I would say that this is extremely old foil, and I didn't dust it, so there was nothing for it to stick to. So I kind of want you to see like the good and the bad results, because then you can make your judgment. So out of the 3 or 4 that we did, I had one that I'm like, it's okay, but it just shows that the age of your foil, the dust, and I'm going to be honest, I have some dust in my house. I have 2 birds, and I have 3 dogs. One lives outside. The husky lives outside most of the time. He comes in and stays in the man cave with my husband. And then we also have cats that come in and out. So we are like kind of up on the crazy side, but look how easy this is. So the next thing I want to talk about with these is you can, like I said, you can stamp, and it can be as easy or as hard as you want. So I have this stamp set here. It is the Play Ball stamp sets, and it's all silhouette. So if you like the silhouette images, so they stamp whatever color that you want it to stamp, whatever your ink is, that's what it stamps with. So it's just an easy way to do a really quick card and not have to think about it. But you can add your stamps to these. So let's grab my Misty. So I want to tell you about my day as, I am keeping it real. So let's talk about keeping it real today. Yesterday I had some old pot roast, and please don't tell me about how I shouldn't use my garbage disposal, or that I made a bad decision. Like, it's not gonna fall short. But I put some pot roast, and there was tiny pieces. I didn't put like a whole pot roast, and some mushy vegetables down my disposal, and it backed up my sink. And I spent most of the day trying to get it done before my husband got home, because let's face it, who wants to have that conversation with their husband? I mean, for reals. And I'm not afraid of my husband, but why do I want him to come home from work and have to work even harder because I did something stupid? But I couldn't get it unclogged. And after I had a couple geysers, trying to get my stuff done, I texted him like, yeah, you're gonna come up to a mess. Well, he is still down there working on it. We've snaked it, and I think we're doing Drano right now. And if the Drano and the snake kind of got some stuff out. We used the shop vac. We've used everything. Anyway, if the drainer doesn't work, then we're gonna call a plumber tomorrow. But so that happened. And then what else? Gosh, I'm a mess. It's been a little crazy here. So I'm going to use my little frog press. This is my pet press. It's my stamp press. You can use it as a bone folder too. Works for all kinds of things. But yep, he's cute. And now this is my first time stamping with this stamp. You saw me pull it out of the packaging. And I had a little bit of an air bubble. So I am going to go ahead and use my VersaFine Clair again and stamp it down. And since I'm using a Misty, it didn't go anywhere. Yes, you're right. Justine, everybody is human, but oh God. You know what I mean? It's enough to make you cringe. So up until like 5 minutes before the live, I was down there playing in the sink with him. Now I want to give you a little stamping tip here. Hi Tanya, nice that you joined us. So if you're foiling and you want that silhouette, this is true with any stamping. Anything that you put down first shows up for, like, more prominent. So since this is just ink and foil doesn't stick to this type of ink, I could have stamped him first and I could have put the bat like right through the and or the swing, and then foiled like after it was dry, and it would have foiled on top of that. But that bat would have looked like it was in the shadow, and it would have been really super cool. So I mean, you can play with depth perception. But say if I took this little girl and I like stamped her next, he would show more prominent because I stamped him first. Does that make sense? So whatever you stamp first is the darkest, usually. Okay? I think that's common. Well, I want to say it's common sense, but I mean, I just told you that I didn't use common sense yesterday, so what the hell? Yep, I just cussed. Oh, kill me. All right, let's wipe this one off. Okay, so I want to stamp again. My Misty's ready to go. All right, you know what? I'm gonna turn my laminator back on because I want to show you one more thing once it's hot again. But we're gonna keep moving on with these cute little cards. So I mentioned that you can color with Copics. So I want to prove that to everybody because I know that there are going to be people like, are you sure? Yes, the answer is yes. So I'm pulling my Copics, and I'm just doing an E59, 57, 55, and 53. Hey Brian, good to see you. So I'm going to actually do the wrap of the bat a little bit like in a color. So I'm going to kind of add a strip here because that's where my shadow is, because that's what the artist who drew this said by putting that line in. And I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow there at the indentation and a little bit there. Okay, now you could draw all the wood lines in there, do whatever you want. I'm just going to do just a few. Hi Christina, hi Judy, good to see you. Gosh, you guys are all jumping on. This is good. So you really want to watch me be a fool tonight, it sounds like. And we're going to give just a little bit of shadow down there. All right, so now we're using the 5-7. Again, this is not rocket science. We are using the easiest blends. You could use any brand marker that you want. You guys just know that this is what I prefer. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to go where this shadow is, and I'm going to kind of extend it out to the middle of the bat. And I'm just flicking these down just a little bit. And a little bit up here. And that's as much as I'm going to do. So you can make this coloring as hard or as easy as you want. So I know that I'm pretty zoomed out, but that was because I had the what you call it, the laminator going. So now I'm going to lightly go over this with the mid-tone. I'm going to probably lose a little bit of it. And again, this is like the 5-minute card. I'm not asking you to do any like real hard blending. This is just so you can get it done. And this seems to be the trend right now, that people want easy peasy cards. See how cool that looks? And it's like, it took no time. Now I'm gonna do red because I've got the Cincinnati Reds here. If you have a favorite team, can do whatever you please. All right. Actually, I do have these cute little friends that I just colored. So we could like do that. I don't know. We'll see. No. Yeah, well, no, we're still going to do red because I want to use these for something else later. I don't know if, when I say later, I don't know if I mean like later tonight, but I do have a plan for them. So there's going to be a shadow like where the lip of the handle is, and then where these little tape thingies are. And since the artist kind of put like that little like strip down there, I'm going to kind of draw one in just to mimic it. She said yes, add the people. Okay, I might. That was Justine that said that. So now we're going to use the R29. So I'm using 2 of the Scary Darks. The level of punniness. Oh, Brian, have you been looking at our site lately? We've been very punny lately. And the stamps that are coming out next week are just as punny. And they're not puny puns. They're punnies. They're funny. I can't say it. Funny puns. I don't know. There are puns. I can't talk. You guys, I can't talk. I'm a mess. I think all puns are supposed to be funny, but some of them are probably off color. And I'm not opposed to those either. So this is the R46. So this is like the mid-tone, which technically is what you see the most of. And so I'm still leaving that white little strip. I'm going to close that in to mimic what the bat had going on. But by using that Scary Dark, we made that wrap come forward and look 3D. The May release is awesome. Stay tuned. Thank you, Justine. Honestly, the July release screams everything me. Well, yeah, everything me. And I have wanted it so bad. And then a stamp set that we're doing in August is a stamp set that I've asked 3 companies to make for me. And for one reason or another, it did or didn't happen. And I finally had it made for myself. And you guys, I don't mean to be all like cryptic about it, but girls got to have some surprises. So I'm really excited about the next 2 or 3 releases. Really, really am. Millie's son, Art, nice to see you. Hello. Remind me where you're from again. So anything that's white still has a shadow. So I am using a C3 and a C1 just to give this ball a little bit of depth. Yes, so there you go. Brian says he's excited for me, and I get excited about all the releases, because it is one thing when you're on Design Teams, which you all know I've been on for years, but when it's your company and you get to like choose what stamps you want and you get to do what you want to do, and thank God that my my partner in crime, my husband, the guy that's down underneath the sink trying to fix my my mess right now, allows my dream to come true. So like, you know, he's never on the camera because he's, you know, doesn't want to be on the camera. But without him, this would not be possible. And I always want to give credit where credit's due. And I might be a little bit more forthcoming with the credit right now because he's under the sink trying to clean up my mess. So, because anybody that knows me knows that I tend to throw him under the bus a little bit. So, but right now, I'm forever grateful that he's the one under the sink. So, the next thing, and I'm hoping that I have some in here, and you know I don't because it's next to me 24/7, except for when I'm live, is I would use my ink blending solution, but I just want to show you, and again, we can blend on this. See how nice that is? And it's not taking a whole lot of work. Like, I'm barely, you know, putting any pressure down. And it blends beautifully. So, I have worked really hard sourcing this paper so it does all the things. Because, you know, we all have our favorite blending paper. We all have our favorite Copic paper. We all have our favorite watercolor paper or pencil paper. And no, this may not be my favorite paper for pencils or for watercoloring. It will take a moderate amount. It might take a moderate amount of water. Like, or I shouldn't say moderate. It'll take a minimal amount of water. But I'm just showing you, like, you can do all the things with this paper. That's no bueno, Jana. What did Jana say? Our AC is out. Hubby and my son have been working on it for 2 days. Oh, I'm so sorry. I would die. So I don't know. You didn't catch me when I first came on, Jana. But I woke up this morning and I was freezing. Okay? Freezing. And I had the air conditioning on 66 because I'm a woman of that age where I need a little AC with, you know, when menopause wants to hit. And anyway, I woke up and it was 50 degrees outside and I went straight from the air conditioning to the heat. So I'm thankful that both my AC and my air conditioning work, and I got to check it out. I got to test it all out today, all in one day. Now if I had a kitchen sink that works, I'd be like, yay, you know, I'd be like, let's do this. I'd be all excited, but whatever. I'm a hoot tonight. Or at least I think I am. Do you guys feel like I need some more color on that? Because I think I do. I would hope if I had a plan before I went live. Well, yeah, so let's cut this down a hair before I add any more ink. So my desk was covered in paperwork right before I came up here. And that's because I've been working on some stuff with, you know, business stuff. And I wasn't planning on being a heart attack. You know, like I thought I'd have more time today, is what I'm saying. And because we were, you know, going to the hardware store, doing all that stuff, we didn't really have a lot of time. So I am going to take this down to, like, I don't know, 3 3/4 by 5, because that seems to be my number. But you notice I took more off the top than the bottom because I want a place for that to stand, for the little boy or girl to stand. So since I'm using red, because this is my team now, I'm going to pretend that the Cincinnati Reds have teal as their second color, because my little boy that I colored is wearing teal. So I don't know if I tell you. You like the way it looks? Thanks, Brian. But I just want you guys to see, like, you can absolutely use this, you know, this cardstock for pretty much everything. All right. And if you screw it up, you can turn it over and you can color on it. Be done. You know what I mean? So, whatever. Whatevs. Or if you get a design you don't like, you can flip it over and start over. All right, so my laminator is super hot and it's like smells like it's cooking right now. So we're gonna go ahead and show you the little trick that I wanted you to see. And I'm not gonna take full credit for this because it was actually, I think, Justine that talked about this. Oh, that's my favorite navy blue. Oh, it's killing me. Killing me. All right. Justine, thank you for sharing this with us. So I am a huge fan of navy blue paper, so this is hurting my soul. But demonstration is always key when you're talking to people about stuff, and that piece of foil, it was garbage. So, all right. So Justine says that you can foil this paper. So we're gonna try it out. And if I look like a fool on here, I would rather it be a fool and then not try it at home because then you won't be mad at me or Justine. So yes, I'm probably breaking all the rules. I am a rule breaker, folks. So I am probably breaking the rules by having that sticking out. I have no idea what the result's going to be because of it. I don't really care. It's breaking my heart though to kill my navy blue paper, but all for science. We're doing it for science, folks. And that was from ThermoWeb, I believe, this foil. And it's about 7 or 8 years old. Okay. We're letting that cool. You know what? We need to do one. You know I'm a matchy girl. So we're doing this one more time because I can't stop. I can't stop, you guys. Once I start foiling, I can't stop. So we're going to use a piece of foil. Now this is multiple sheets in this little tube. So you need to make sure, even though I separated it literally, there's still another sheet there. So make sure you've got your sticky fingers clean. And I will roll that up, hopefully up. Look, that's another roll. Oh my. So I am using these shears from Spellbinders. They're a nice Teflon, but they're not serrated like the other brand that's out there. And I like them a lot for foiling. Okay. Okay, so I will tell you that this is printed with toner, so that's why it stuck to my paper. It will. I think it's stuck forever. Okay, you guys ready? Check that freaking out. Oh my God. Becky, look at that bunt. Look at that foil. That is like, be still my heart. Thank you, Justine. You never fail me. Girls, she never fails me. But we're doing one more because I've got to. Because we're gonna use that coral colored little girl. And again, I am using the back side of this. I folded it inside out so that we're not transferring any of that garbage on there. Because if you guys don't know, toner is plastic, and when plastic melts, that's why the foil sticks to it. Little known fact. So Justine is mentioning it also works for hot foiling, which you guys saw the backside stick. She's right, it would work. She's the guru of hot foil. She has you can drop your link to your Facebook group if you want, Justine, and if you wouldn't mind, would you put in these Pajama Crafter friends link too, since you're technically an admin. I'm abusing my friend tonight. All right, so I am turning this off because I don't want to smell like baking anymore. This is nice and cool down. Doesn't that reveal just... I can't stop. So you can save these and you can use like toner based sheets, which I do have in the shop. And you can foil those so you would get the negative. I rarely do. It's going in my garbage because I can't save all the things today. All right. Now, everybody, we're going to show that you can use pencils. Yes, she owns them. All right. I'm trying to decide what color do we want this little guy to be. I feel like, should I stick with my reds? I don't know. You guys, I'm such a red loyalist. Even though it's maybe not necessarily my absolute favorite color, it just photographs really well. And what I do for, I have to photograph. So I'm still sticking with, I'm going to use my Scary Dark. Is this a realistic color uniform? I don't know. This is my world. In Christina's world, she can do what color she wants. Justine's world, she can do what color she wants. And so I'm just kind of putting in a little bit of the shading right where it naturally would be, and also where the artist drew it in. So I'm using my Scary Dark. And these are polychromos. I have Prismacolors now that I got them back. Don't ask that story because I'm not going to tell you ever. But now I've got both sets and I'm very happy to have them both so I can show you, because I feel like you shouldn't be like, tied to any one thing. So that was, I don't know, what color was this? I can't, even with my glasses. Dark red. There you go. So I'm just kind of using my next color, which this is deep scarlet red. So there shouldn't be, so this is going to be a brighter red, but it's still like the Scary Dark. So I'm still kind of staying true to myself. I don't know if you guys know the reason I don't use pencils very often. One, I spent a fortune on my markers, so I wanted to learn those. And then I have a really bad shoulder. And the fine muscle movement of pencils like makes my arm scream. So the fact that I'm doing this right now says I love you. And you want to go with a light hand, which I struggle with because I'm a very heavy-handed person. But with pencils, the key is you don't want to fill up the tooth right away, or else you'll get that shine. And once you fill up the tooth, that would be like the grain of the paper. The grain of the paper can't take any more pigment, and you're just stuck with a nasty, shiny mess. So Justine put in the group to Pajama Crafter Stamps and Friends, and to her, is it Better Press, or which one did you use? I honestly can't read it in the comments because it kind of cuts it off on my iPad. And this is Geranium, Pale Geranium Lake. Who comes up with these names? But I guess, people probably say that about some of my stamps. Like, how did you come up with this? Just because. All right. That was a spam caller instead of my bestie this time. So very simple, and I'm leaving a lot of white in there because I'm not looking for perfection. I just want you to see that you can do it, okay? So we have now ink blended, we have color penciled, we've Copic colored on it, we have foiled all the foils. So we've got baseball vibes, we've got, oh my god, Becky. You know what, you guys, we could actually still foil this because none of this ink is sticky. So if we wanted this to shine, we could put that right through the laminator and we could go crazy with it. So I mean, we could like use that silver and it would just be boom, but I'm not doing that. So that's an easy card. Let's see. So that I don't lose my polys, I'm gonna put them back on this sea of mess back here that I'll find. All right, so I feel like we should be like judging stuff up a little bit, but this is why. Okay, one of the biggest, I'm going to show my age again. Remember back in the days when we all had, did you guys see my shirt? Oh my. Did you, back in the days when we all had, like we did our yearbooks and we, like that was a class, you never have an image facing that direction off the card. So since this is my negative space, I just want to make you like, it's like, what is going on here? Like she's looking the wrong way. But look how much better it is to have him facing the right way. Do you see that? So you always want to draw the eye in. Now there are rare occasions that you want to pretend that there's a scene way out there that you want to be. You want to keep the eye moving, but very rarely when you're on something like on a canvas this small, if your negative space is on the left, you don't want the character looking to the left. I wish somebody would have explained that to me like 1,000 years ago. Yeah, Stationery Maker Group is her baby. So he is so cute, but that is so matchy. Like there's like no real distinction. We could like do some ink blending behind him to make him stand out, but I'm not feeling that, you guys. I wanted her. And besides, doesn't he look cute on Fred? Although he looks like he's got a bat coming out of his head, like it's like BAM! I'm a mess. I'm just being honest. Do we want him on there? Oh, he'd be cute there too. He is so cute. He's so precious. But what if we wanted a hot dog? I mean, come on. Everybody goes to the game and needs the food. That's what I say. Anyway. So let's go back to making a card. Since I wasted my beautiful piece of cardstock, let's see if I can find where I throw it. That's always the $1 million question. Where did she throw it? Then we will go ahead and make a card, and I just found it, so we're good. Yeah. Where did I throw my trimmer? That's the other $1 million question. I don't know, but we've got more than one, so let's just use a different one. You guys, if I don't make fun of myself, somebody else is going to. I mean, so I always take the hit for myself. So I am going to, I don't like the way that edge No, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I just wanted that little edge off of there. And there's the 5 1/2. Oh my, I gotta tell you my favorite thing. I bought myself a stack cutter. If you don't know what they are, just look it up. It was the best $200 I spent. I went through a whole entire ream of 120-pound cardstock in less than a minute, cutting those card fronts, my card bases, and it truly brought me joy. Like, I'm not trying to use a pun on my name. Like, legit, it brought me joy. And that's important stuff. So I'm gonna keep on whacking this. Because I want a little bit more of a border. I'm a border girl. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like, I like wide borders on my cards, and it's really important to hold your cardstock down. So I'm taking this to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Because if I'm gonna show off some stuff, if I'm gonna waste my good cardstock on my navy is what I'm saying. If I'm gonna do that, then I want a little bit of I want that gold to show up a little bit. Is what I'm trying to say. I can't talk. I can't think straight. My phone keeps dinging. My watch keeps dinging. I don't know why I have this guy that always tracking me with this thing on my wrist. It's like, come on. Oh, there's my trimmer. Ha! So I'm going to get my Bearly Art glue out. You love that hot dog. You're like, yeah, I'm nuts. So one of the best, like I always joke about a Louisville Slugger, and I'm not like I'll whop you over the head with that if you're not, you can shape up, joking, purely joking. There's no violence on this channel. We are specifically a PG-13 show here. But I went to visit Louisville Slugger, and this was, you guys, I can't cut. For the love of God. I went to Louisville Slugger, and we did a tour, and it was fantastic. And after, when I was like, I don't know, finally, oh, I did that 3 1/4. Oh, girls, I'm a mess. So we need to take it down even further. So anyway, like in my 30s, I finally got my first Louisville Slugger, and you would think, being my age, that I would have, at least been there, gotten a bat. Nope, never had one until I was in my 30s. But I loved going there, and you can tour it. You can see where the bats are made. Everybody gets like a free piece of like the end, like like they spin it like you do furniture. You can get like that little end, and I still have that. Even like to this day, like for some reason, that just tickled me. But I have a Louisville Slugger, and it makes me happy, 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 joy, joy. Okay. It's funny. I have not been in this like slap happy mood all day. Like, I haven't been in this mood in a week. And then I come on a live with you guys, and it's like I come alive. Like, I'm happy, and maybe I should just start crafting live like every day. No, don't hold me to it. I'm not doing it. But, like, I just came alive in the last hour. Don't know. Don't know. Oh, look at that. Oh, Becky, look at that butt. So I am a wet glue fan because I normally don't get my layers on straight the first time. I'm sure you guys, anybody has spent any time here, you know that. And I usually pop everything up with foam tape, but don't worry, she's coming. She's coming. She's gonna come out and play in a minute. So we could do just... Yep, that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Okay, you guys, you know I'm in a mood. Does the flag point up or does it point down? Does it? Let's first of all let's just pop up this glove and then I'll figure out what I want to do. Because this is my card and I can do what I want to. Alright. You would think that I would maintain my composure today. So did you guys see my shirt? I asked and then I didn't. Look at my shirt. It says, I talk to myself because I hate everyone else. And it's like a little like emo little bunny. And it's funny. And I don't really hate everybody else. But I figured since I brought attention to it earlier that I should at least tell you what it says because it's funny. It's funny. At least I think it's funny. Look at me fidgeting, 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 fidgeting. Nobody's telling me which way the flag goes. My dog just burped. Oh yeah, let's go back to my world, back to my craziness. So my old guy is 15 and I love him, you know, but I know I don't think I'm gonna add it. I don't like the flag. I mean, I like the flag, I just don't want the flag today. But my old guy, you never know how he's gonna feel from day to day, and I just always pray when I leave the house that he's gonna be here when I come back. I mean, not that he's actively sick, but you know, there's that thing, and you just never know what's gonna happen, you know. So anyway, as soon as we came home, he went running to the door, and it was under my husband's feet, which is a no-no. And he's like, "Oh my God, Butters! Like, make him stop! Like, stop it! Get out!" And so we're, you know, my husband's under the sink later doing something. Like, what is that smell? So I kind of thought, oh, it's the sink. No, you guys, he like threw up and had bowel issues too. And yeah, so literally like right before the live, I'm like bleaching the things and I'm helping my husband and I'm trying to find my laminator. Just life is just hilarious, you know? At least I think it's hilarious. So what do y'all think? What do you put the wide end on the right? You have such good ways of describing them. And I know you, Christina, you are trying not to say something. I'm going to call you at the end. I'm going to call you when this is over. Where did the card go? I think the card's got legs. I don't know where I threw them. Oh, no. No. There he is, Becky. Card. You mean this way? But yeah, when like so I just love him and I just hope that my little guy is, you know, here forever, you know. When I got him, he was never I was supposed to outlive him. Let's just put it that way. It was never supposed to be this way. Stop it. Okay, let's on the live and I don't have time to think about stuff, I'm not giving you guys like really special cards, and that really bothers me because when I craft like for my real, like for reals, I always like do a ton of layers, spend a ton of coloring. Like I feel like I'm cheating if I don't do all the things, and so this is just bugging me. So one thing about these flashcards, they are meant to be able to cut down like at least like to minimum 3 3/4 by 5. That way, if you want to mat them, you can. So they always are a little bit towards the center, and even if you get like the gamer one that's kind of off, like it's like a dragon that hangs off to the right side, faces. The left side facing into the right. You actually have to trim it down a little bit because they're all meant to have a margin, so you can like always trim with the black layer. Okay. So there's not a whole lot like watching going on, or like a lot of teaching going on, Tanya, today, I guess is what I'm saying, because you watch from the process. All I'm really doing are cutting rectangles, and any monkey can pretty much cut a rectangle. I don't know if you guys know this, but that's what I call myself. I call myself the monkey. If the monkey can do it, then anybody can do it. And this is driving me nuts. That's good. But when I get off of this live, I am going to clean my desk, put everything away, and yes, I'm trying to convince myself that that's what I'm really going to do. And then I am going to start coloring the new release, and there's going to be some real crafting going on in this room, and I'm going to record it, because like you said, people actually want to learn stuff. And there's that loud car that's always in my lives. Do you know what? I found out he lives diagonal from me. Like, there are 2 cars in the same driveway, and they both are loud and obnoxious. And if I had an extra $1,000 to throw them, I would say, go get your mufflers fixed. Because it drives me crazy. And no, they're not doing it on purpose. Because I know. But I'm just saying, if I had an extra money to throw around, I would gift it to those college students, and I would definitely like fix their muffler, because I kept saying like, I don't know who that is, like, and then yesterday I was sitting out on the porch with my cat watching the day go by, and 2 houses like diagonal for me, and 2 cars in the same driveway. Ugh. You didn't hear anything? So then I just ranted for no reason. Just know that my heart is that I would love to be able to give them the money to get their cars fixed. And part of it is because I have a giving heart, and the other part is purely selfish on my part. So I don't lie to you guys ever. We all have loud neighbors. People, what's really nice about me with this voice? Nobody could say I'm the loud neighbor. Now, by nature, I am a loud person. I used to be, like when I had a voice like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But, yeah. Even when I yell, this is as loud as I get. I have to turn the volume up on my mic just so that you guys can hear me. And I even wonder about that a lot of times. It's always like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? So yeah. See? Isn't he cute? I feel like I want him off to the side. Yeah, we do. Did you notice I'm not putting them there? They don't have this loud muffler. No, these are just college kids trying to make it in the world. And I kind of thought, originally, Christina, that it was somebody purposely doing it, and that's why I would always say something on my life like, there's that car again. And then I found out that I was just the jerky neighbor that wanted quiet. But I will say this, for being college students, they don't have parties. They might maybe once a year. and they're not loud and obnoxious, and they keep their yard cut, and they do all the things that you would do if you lived in an HOA. And so if they're mufflers, the biggest thing that I have to complain about in my life, it's a great life, you know? But I know what you're talking about. You're talking like the rice popper. Those make me nuts. If you ever notice, it's always a Nissan or it's a Honda Civic. Always. That have the rice, like the loud mufflers. You try to embrace the sound. You know, the only time it would probably bother me, it would be like at 5 a.m. It wouldn't bother me if I was still up at 5 a.m., but if you woke me up at 5 a.m., then the loud car or truck would make me bonkers. So you guys, I am leaving his little hat hanging off to the side because I don't want to cover up the word season. So I would either put him on a 5x7 card base, which I would not do. I don't cut 5x7 card bases. I don't get into all that jazz because I'm lazy. But I would definitely put this A2 card inside of a 5x7 envelope, and I would mail that sucker off, and I would not be ashamed. Like, you do what you got to do to get it done. Let's use some mermaid gems. So these gems are kind of cool. They're only 3mm, so you could use them for shaker cards too. But they shift purple, so they're really good for like under the sea and mermaid type cards. But that blue matches this little guy, and it matches his eyeballs like perfectly. I don't know. We're gonna put 4 dots down for right now, and then we'll figure out where we're gonna put the rest. But I am not ashamed to put an A2 card into a 5x7 envelope if it means, it's the same amount of postage, guys. It's like it doesn't make a hill of beans difference. But if you get that extra, like, you get it the way you want it and zhuzh it up and you make it happy, who cares? Like, zhuzh it. Zhuzh it. And you could go on up. So since he's kind of off the corner, kind of put it down here, and then you always have your embellishments in odd numbers because it pleases the eye. So they say I'm the type of person that counts, and that's why you have to do an odd number, because people like me will sit there and count them, and if it's an even number, if it's not an even number, it'll drive you nuts. So it always keeps your eye moving for the people like me that have to count to see, like, how many did she put on there? What is she doing? So always put your little odd numbers on there. So anyway, all right, you guys, I think I've shown you. So does anybody have a real question? I didn't make earth-shattering cards. Like, you could make these wild, and Justine makes them wild. Like, she's amazing, and that's why I have her on the team. But you legitimately can do anything with these. So flashcards are not like in high school or in elementary school flashcards. They are card fronts, and you can color them with Copics. You can foil them with transfer sheets. You can color pencil. You can ink blend on them. God, I want to do that. Do I just embrace it? Do I embrace it, y'all? That hurts me so bad. So anyway, back to what the flashcards are. You can ink blend, you can foil, you can lightly watercolor, you can use pencils, you can use Copics on it. It's just a very good, well-rounded product, and it's got such a low price point on it that if you're on a budget, it's something that's not going to break the bank, and you get 24 of them, so you can, giveaway. You could do 24 cards for $6.99. I mean, you have to add stuff, so your card's not really like, you've got to add what you've got in your stash, but you legit like can make really cool cards. And I've gotten really good. I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been looking at the camera today. So like my head down and me like where's it at? I've been looking. We're almost like, now we're not even close to being professional. We're just being me, being silly. But so you can make it as simple as these cards. You can zhuzh them up. You can use them with stamps. You can whatever. But look at that. Isn't that cool? And I think that this is just the perfect way to end it with, let the field be joyful and all that is in it. Psalms 96:12. We all need a little bit. Great for coaches or teammates. Okay, I do want to say this since Justine's a teacher and just seeing her on here reminds me. We have a really cute teacher pack. And I know it's the end of the year and, we trust our babies and our grandbabies with these adults that, have custody of our kids for at least 8 hours a day. And whether you're, sending them to a private school, whether you're sending them to public school, these people are like forming who our kids become. They are dealing with how we've raised them because, we're the ones that break our kids. Say thank you to them. And for $6.99, you can grab a really cool set of, end of the year thank you cards for them, and you can just send out, a bunch of them to the teachers. And I'm really not trying to plug my product as much as I'm trying to plug, say thank you to a teacher. And kids, if anybody's watching, if you're homeschool, thank your mamas, thank your grandmas, thank your daddies, whoever it is that, that educates you. Because y'all ain't easy. I do understand that we broke you and that we made you who you are, but hopefully you love us at the end. So, oh, Brian is right. How do I even forget this? It's Nurse Appreciation Week. Thank a nurse. And that is the one thing that's not in my collection yet. Oh, I do have the Dr. Koala and the Nurse Koala. So we do have something for Nurses Week. However, I don't have any type of flashcards for those, but these are not flashcards for school. These are just our little kitschy way of advertising them that you can have a card and a flash. Okay. All right, I'm done. My throat hurts. I can't talk anymore. Just keeping it real. So, Justine just linked to the store, and they should be, at least the baseball vibes should be linked in the description box. But yeah, please go help yourselves. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and get some crafty stuff done this weekend.